Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Ball and Buds podcast. We have one of our favorite buds and an all-star in his own podcast, which is called Unfair Sports, where they take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And y'all better check that out because that is a great podcast. My brother, Jay from Unfair Sports, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Thanks for having me again, Omar. There's a lot going on in sports to always talk about.
Oh, you know it. Sweet. I didn't even notice your shirt. That coffee shirt is amazing. I am a
Hey,
coffee.
coffee's for closers only. Remember that.
I love it. Awesome. Well, let's jump right into it. The first thing I really want to, I know we don't usually talk NFL, me and you, but I do want to get your thoughts because you did talk about it a little bit on your newest episode of the podcast. So everybody go check that out for the detailed Super Bowl analysis. But can you just give us your quick thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, man. Super Bowl was probably one of the better ones we've had in the last few years, if you really think about it. It was a close game. It went down to the wire. I know some people are upset about the call or whatnot, but I'm the type of person that I like the rules to be enforced. If they're seen, enforce the rules. I mean, the refs didn't really insert themselves in the game because the only reason why Mahomes threw the ball away is because he saw the flag come out. If he didn't see the flag come out or the flag did not come out, that was going to be a catch, probably for a touchdown. So the game would have still probably ended the exact same way or worse. So outside of that, man, it was a great game, great battle between two quarterbacks. I think Jalen Hurts has now emerged. I'm actually going to record something after this for my pod and have it launched this afternoon, early afternoon. On it's about time we might talk about paying your boy Jalen Hurts. Looking at the numbers and everything, he's about that point where you probably want to go ahead and write that man a check. He is everything that I thought he was going to be coming from Alabama. I was one of the very few people in the world that was a very big advocate of Jalen Hurts. And I have a few friends that can vouch for that because they all laughed at me when I said that, hey, man, I think he could be an NFL guy. And they're just like, what? Him? He just had everything set up for a team that really did not like passing the ball, especially at Alabama. And then when he got to Oklahoma and was able to put up 4,000 yards in a very pass friendly system and rush for over 1,000 yards, I'm like, yeah, that's an NFL quarterback. He'll figure it out. He'll put it together. And the fact that he has two ways of being dangerous is big. But enough about Hurts. Real quick on Mahomes. Hey, man, it's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. With the stuff that he can do and the way that he does it, we have to stop pretending like we've seen this before because we haven't. We ain't seen nobody throw the ball vertically while aligned parallel with the ground. The man's a monster. Let's give us his respect. I think we're watching a legend. We're witnessing greatness, and we should appreciate that.
And so follow up, which is the question everybody's asking, the hot topic, the debate. Do you think he catches Tom Brady?
No, that's a tough one. And the reason why I say that is because it's not on Mahomes' back to do that. That's on the front office. You got to remember that Bill Belichick was very good at manipulating not only the cap, but bringing in solid defensive players. Those defenses were always top 10 that Tom Brady had. The seasons that they won Super Bowls, they had top 10 defenses. And that's something that you can't predict, mainly because one, it's a game of attrition. How healthy will you be by the end of the season? With Mahomes on the team, you don't want to bet against him because there is a good chance he can will you to some victories. But that's taxing once you get further and further and further into the playoffs. So I want to say that it's a possibility if the stars align defensively. Yeah, he can surpass Tom Brady, but we have to also put it in effect. Think about the fact that his front office has to make sure they put something around him on defense. Now, one thing though, he's got a quarterback friendly contract. Now, it sounds weird. It does sound weird, but that $400 million contract he signed with the 10-year deal, that's going to look very cheap once this new TV contract comes into play in 2025. Over time, he'll be in the middle of the pack of pay, but he still made $400 million. Keeping it a buck, that's going to be very helpful in building that defense.
That is just crazy in its own right. I mean, you just blew my mind saying that, like a $450 million contract, which right now we think is like him and Mike Trout is just like crazy money, but there's so much money coming in, pouring in that.
It might be a Tom Brady friendly type contract, man. Because I mean, Right now, I think in 2 years, 2025, he'll make about like 60 something. He'll have like a 60 something million dollar
Mm,
cap hit, right?
mm-hmm.
Then the following year, he'll be at the 40 to 45 range. And I mean, right now, Aaron Rodgers has a $50 million hit. So think about it that way. Once you start seeing everybody gets paid from Lamar, I mean, Kyler's contract, Deshaun Watson's deal, that deal's going to look a lot smaller. Josh Allen, um, Justin Herbert's contract is going to be massive. All those deals are going to be way more friendly to this team long term. So, kind of thought it was a great deal.
Wow, that's crazy in retrospect because at the time it definitely didn't seem like it. But you're completely right about all the money that's pouring into all of the sports, and I agree with you on the Jalen Hurts one as well. I know I've already been hearing, the rumors about a massive extension in Philadelphia, and you're right, he is their franchise quarterback, and once you find that, you got to hold on to that. And I, as a Raider fan, know because we've had Derek Carr for the past 10 years.
Hey,
and I love
yeah,
Derek Carr.
You got to try. You got to ride it out because you never know. I mean, in the Derek Carr piece, man, he put up some numbers and he did well. It's just unfortunately not having everything around that you need at the same time as the stability of coaching kind of makes it tough. So I feel bad for Derek. He got his 9 years in. He showed that he was an NFL quarterback, just not one that can carry the load. And that's kind of one of those. I think it's a little unfair for us to think every quarterback has to carry the entire load. He's a grown-up. I'm going to put it to you like this. I've gained way more respect for him, especially after the Henry Ruggs situation and the way that he was able to speak eloquently in regards to everything. He's the grown-up in the room, just like Jalen Hurts is the grown-up in the room in Philadelphia. The problem for him is just that his talent, he isn't the guy that can just carry you and will you all the way by himself. He's not the guy that's going to get you a touchdown in 13 seconds. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between a Mahomes and a Derek Carr type of caliber player is what do you look like on a drive? I mean, to be honest, Baker Mayfield showed us that with the Rams when he did that game-winning drive after only having the playbook for 2 days. You got to have the capabilities of doing it if you're good enough. I mean, I know it hurts, but that's the big piece is that when you can show that you can do that, you can carry a team quickly in a 2-minute drill and get a touchdown and win the game and put the ball in the right spots. That's not a talent that every quarterback has, unfortunately, because it's not easy to manage everything by yourself. Not very everybody can do that. It's that's where those margins are super thin when it comes to playing quarterback. It's a game of inches, but the margins are super thin. Got to keep that in mind when it comes to your quarterbacks.
No, yes, that's the main point, right? Like if you have that franchise quarterback or somebody even good enough, like a Derek Carr, if you can put the pieces around them, like you said, then like Derek Carr, our defense was bottom 10 most of the time he was even quarterbacking. What is he supposed to do with that? Like, I mean, like you said, quarterback should not be carrying the team. If you're Patrick Mahomes, sure, but he's like you said, another talent that we've never even seen before. So that's totally another level than Derek Carr. And I
I
can
mean,
say
think
that as
about
a
it.
Raiders fan.
And think about this though. The Chiefs have hosted 5 straight AFC championship games. Cool. But they've only been to 3 Super Bowls in that time. They were losing I mean, they lost to Joey Cool, Joe
Really
Burrow
cool.
last year. And so that tells you the defense at that year was not what the Chiefs needed to win. They didn't have the right defense last year. And so, yeah, there's 3 things you need to win in the NFL. You need a quarterback to throw the ball, an offensive line to protect them, and a defensive line to go get their quarterback. That's it. That's your formula. That's your formula for success. You focus on those 3 things, you'll probably win.
Thank you so very much, Jay. Amazing, amazing analysis as always. We will be putting this podcast up here in the next week, and then we will also be cutting these down and repurposing them for our new YouTube channel, the Ball and Buds channel. So go ahead and check that out as well. Please go and support our man Jay at Unfair Sports. He has his podcast. Go subscribe, go rate, review, gift those 5 stars, as he likes to say. And as well, go hit that YouTube channel. He has the new Sooner Network as well for any of those college football fans out there. I know I just gave away anything, but anything else you want to plug, my friend, please do.
Nah, man, I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate you having me on, Omar. pull up at the channel. We're talking just about everything, man. So we'd love to have you guys around. Appreciate the love.
Hey, most def. Again, Unfair Sports. Go check Jay out, and we will see him again soon. Thank you, my brother.
All righty. Peace.